they had
It's
no
disgusting behavior.
idea.
It really is.
Did they have any idea what was going on?
Oh, I'm sure they did. They never. So they knew about the assault. They knew about that. I came to them about that. So they knew about that. But there again, that was the first moment. I've always seen my mother look at me helpless, look at me like I want to help you, but I don't know what to do. That was the first time I saw my father look at me like that.
Do you feel like they enabled you by allowing you to live there?
I remember telling them at one point in an outburst, in an argument, in a screaming match, stop enabling me. Stop telling me I can go out and you'll watch Ella. I don't need to be out there. She didn't know what I was doing. I'm sure she does. My mother's not stupid. My brother trained her before I did. But I don't think she ever knew how to approach me about it. I don't think my mother ever knew how to reach out and connect.
Right.
So, yes, they absolutely enabled me. So it did. It turned into.
Yeah, but you're the baby though too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
You're the baby. Yeah.
Well, here's
that
the thing.
too,
Not
but-
only is she the baby of the family, but she's also her mother's only child.
So I'm my father's fourth, but my mother's only.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that looking at me and my siblings and I. We spit an images of each other.
Facts.
Yeah.
I know that. for sure.
Did you hold resentment to your parents for that?
My mother. I always took it out on my mother.
I think people always resent the one that's always in the corner. You know, like I kind of.
That's the one you bash the first.
Right.
I've done it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know that one's
Because you're the
never-
closest.
Yeah.
And that one's
You're the-
not gonna.
you're
No
the
matter what you
easiest.
do,
It's the
yeah, it's
easiest.
easiest because
Well,
you're
what it
easy and
is-
you're not gonna leave me.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know without a shadow of a doubt that there's going to be forgiveness.
Right.
So
So yes, to answer your question, yes, the enabling was there, and I don't think my mother would have classified it as enabling, although probably by definition it was. I think in her mind she just didn't know what to do. She loved, but that was all she could do.
Right, like I'll support you through whatever.
Right. And
Well-
it took me a long time to
Plus, after the assault, I'm sure, like you said, that was the first time you ever saw your dad helpless.
feel helpless. Look
When
helpless.
He looked helpless, and I'm sure for a man, it's probably a different scenario than it would be for like a mother. Like a mom can, I would assume, to a certain level, at least have some sort of understanding.
Empathize.
Yeah, empathize
Right,
to it.
right.
And a man can't, especially when it comes to his daughter. I
Well,
would
and his
imagine.
daughter, and like I'm
Yeah.
sure that my father is still a fire sign himself.
You want
He's
to go
still
score
Yeah.
let's talk about that's my daughter.
Yeah.
and you're a grown ass man.
I want to kill everybody.
Yeah, but at
that-
the same
Right.
time, how does a man? I mean, aside from the whole, I'm going to do to you what you thought you were going to do to my daughter. Aside from that piece, how does a man know how to, like? They're probably thinking, we're going to let her work this out because I can't do anything because I'm going to go to jail if I do anything.
Right.
So I'm going to let her do whatever she needs to do. All these things that she's doing, we see what she's doing, but we know why she's doing it. She's working these feelings out
Working
that
it
we
out,
don't
yeah.
know how to help her.
Right.
There's nothing that we can do. Only thing they could have done really was probably send you to therapy.
Indeed. Or
There's-
rehab.
Yeah, but there's nothing that they could do. So they were
Exactly.
like, we're going to let her work it out however she needs to work it
And
out.
she's home safe.
Yeah, and,
here.
and they knew you were coming back.
Yes.
Or they assumed that you were coming back.
And it did, and there again, there was something you said that unlocked going back to the shame of my childhood and my outbursts in my childhood, and then the shame that came afterwards. That shame I ended up using as a motivation because I couldn't stand seeing my mother look at me like that anymore.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, the dread.
You ever
3 decades.
You ever figure out what your mother's background, or did you guys ever have any in-depth conversations about her?
We have. One of the ones that sticks out in my mind when you ask that question is when I was a teenager and my mother told me for the first time that my father is her second husband. I always knew mom was dad's second wife, because Mary, Sarah, and Scott. But I never knew dad was mom's second husband. And then she doubled down and took it one step further, and this man put his hands on her. And this man emotionally terrorized my mother. And she had to get away. And that always stuck in the back of my head, when the ego, the inner monologue would tell me she'll never understand. She doesn't fucking understand. How could she ever understand? No.
Well, she got a lot more. Yeah.
But maybe that's maybe
Maybe
that
she does.
maybe that caused you to react the way you do. Like, no one's ever gonna do that shit to me, so I'm gonna stand my ground. So as soon as you
Correct.
act crazy, I'm gonna act crazy too. Come on, you can come here if you want to.
What do I always say, Stephanie? Let's go.
Yeah, you're gonna be the right one today. I might be
Megan-
94
Megan's-
pounds, but I still kick your ass. Come on
Megan's
over
favorite
here.
saying is, "Don't walk me to the ledge and then get mad when I jump,"
Right.
because that's how she is.
Yeah. But that could be subconsciously, like,
Right.
you, I'm sure you saw whatever
and
your
I
mom
think-
told you. You saw her face, you heard her voice, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever the details are doesn't matter for me, but whatever you saw,
I was yes, and I was
that had
tired of it.
Well, yeah, but it had to impact you in some sort of way, whatever your mother said to you. And I'm sure, I know if my mom told me that, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, okay, that's what happened to you. It's never happening to me. I will shoot everybody in front of me,
Right.
before that happens to me.
And with that being said, I remember my first relationship was the only relationship I've ever had where I've been broken up with my entire life. I was 15.
And you never let it happen again, right?
And only time I've
he let-
ever been dumped. I don't get
That
dumped.
shit ain't happening to me no goddamn more. You know.
Bet you won't.
Megan's ghosting game is strong.
Bet you
Is it strong?
won't.
Is it strong?
I told you.
So really,
Megan's my
Patrick-
soul
You're
not-
sister.
you're not gonna-
It's only happened to me once too. My very
One
first
time.
one, never again.
I know. No, I'm gonna get you before you get me. And
So are you emotionally unavailable now?
so wow, I love you for that question. I think
I like to ask the hard
I
ones.
think I'm a little more available than I have been in the recent years. Yes. Stephanie just said it the other day. You called me soft, and at first those words hit my earballs. Wrong. Don't say that.
Earballs.
But did she? But did
Don't
she
say
say
that.
Did
My
she
earballs.
say soft or did she say soft? Your
But
ass
she-
is
but she-
SOFF.
what she meant was that I am softer,
Her energy.
and I've never been referred to as soft. I'm aggressive. I am egregiously aggressive.
Did you go through any therapy?
No.
Hiking.
Hiking.
Yeah.
Okay, so
She literally goes hiking every single week of her life.
literally,
Here's another thing. She, through her that 5-year shutdown process that she had,
yeah.
her way is she didn't go to AA, she didn't go to meetings,
I couldn't.
she didn't go to therapy.
Bills had to be paid. Yeah.
She picked up plants as her hobby, and I don't mean
Oh,
cannabis because of course that's always on deck, but I mean actual plants. And she would go to Walmart, Home Depot, wherever, and buy the nastiest, most dying plants that they had on the shelves that they
$3
that
Bring
they
it back.
really
On
needed.
sale.
They needed to be thrown in the trash, and she would go get these dead plants and nurse them back to health. I promise you, while she was doing that, she was fixing herself. Like that's
When I tell you
literally.
that-
Well, I was just gonna
You
say
gauge yourself off the plants.
you thought you didn't. You didn't think you paid for therapy because you didn't. Because there's your therapist sitting right next to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there
That's
again,
legit.
yes.
Because whether you know,
Yes.
in some way, shape, or form, like when we first started this podcast, I've told all of y'all, like you're like my therapist. The guy I talked to y'all. I talked to him.
My check is late.
I mean, damn it, Bezos ain't here and down in Crystal City yet. It's coming through Amazon someday. You'll get there. But no, I talked to my therapist about you all about what we talk about here stuff, and I remember in that break of time when I wasn't going to therapy and I wasn't doing a whole lot of the craziness stuff. I used I was in sport. It was something else that kept my mind occupied.
You have to
It was
acknowledge
something
that
else
there's
keeping my mind
this.
occupied. 3 and 4 basketball leagues, 2 nights of football. Something keeping me occupied. And then when that was gone, you get replaced with something else. But your friends, you don't realize how much your friends become your therapists,
Mm-hmm.
especially those who, like you were going through therapy at the time as well. Like literally, that was your, it's like somebody learning karate and then going back to the neighborhood. Okay, everybody gather around. I'm gonna teach you what sensei does.
Yeah.
We ain't paying. It's good.
But you have to have the right friends that are in the right place at the right times.
Yeah.
Because you can have friends.
Again,
But to have absolutely. But I'm just saying, I'm just caveating what you're saying and saying that because we all have friends, but not all of our friends are in the same places that we're in.
Yeah.
Like all your homies, won't understand where you're at. They can't give you what we give you because of where they're at. And not that we're great.
Yeah.
We are great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying, though?
This is definitely a free therapy session.
It is, but it's different because we're in a place where we're all in a healing place, I think, in our lives. Oops, sorry. We're all in a healing place. And because we're in a healing place, we're more receptive and we're also more giving in terms of helping. We want to help the other person because we're in a healing place. We're ready to receive it. And you have to be in that place in order to help other people.
Like-minded people.
Right.
Well, the biggest thing that comes to that, let's say, is with age comes wisdom.
Yes.
Eventually, you're going to get to a point in your life where you're going to get, I am tired
of my bullshit.
Right. I'm so tired. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired of me. I got to do something.
Well, and that. So thank you for bringing up my plants. I don't give them enough credit.
You don't.
I don't.
You don't.
I really don't. It's one of those things where there was this excess of energy, there was this excess of time, and that allowed thoughts to come in. Right. That allowed the ego to take over, and as much as you want to work on and regulate and self-discipline your thoughts, you also have to find something else to completely disconnect and turn off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It became my plants. Because if my plants weren't doing well, I wasn't doing well.
Right.
If I was vibing and thriving, my plants were vibing and thriving. Facts.
There's your
you know what I
rebirth.
mean? If I'm forgetting to water them, I'm forgetting to water myself. Okay? So we are complicated. We are just houseplants. We need sunlight. We need water. We're just houseplants with complicated emotions. That's all it is. Yeah. But it became the plants. It became the hiking. I took my hiking back. And I found hiking groups. And I had my slips. You know. I can remember, you know, coming off the mountain one time and it had been like 11 months. And all of a sudden, you know,
scrambled legs and kegs.
Holy crap. We're all at a bar and a brewery and oh my God, somebody's pulling me into the bathroom. You want a bump? Okay.
Quick question. I'm going to do a exercise here real quick, right? So you are filling out a dating profile.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So this is what we call Pat getting in your ass. But go ahead, Pat.
So you are filling out a dating profile to attract another male, right? What are you saying?
Don't apply. My dick's bigger than yours.
I was about to say,
seriously.
I want to say, what did you?
Must accept the fact that my dick is the biggest dick in every room I'm in.
I heard about that.
No, seriously.
They don't read. They don't read. It's fine.
Let's do a little exercise here, right?
Okay. Patience.
Must have patience with
I
you.
need. I need. If okay. So I need. I'm talking to them. Is what you're saying. Okay. I need to switch over into that frame of mind.
Yeah, you're trying to attract somebody to you.
Yeah.
You're trying to get fly check.
You're trying to attract the person that you want to be with, right? So describe what you want.
I'm going back to where I started. Patience and understanding that I am still growing. I am still learning. I am still in my process. Please allow it to happen organically. Please support it. But know and understand that I have so much to give, and I will make you better. I will make everything better. We will level up together. I actually, Patrick, and you know this, I just recently started dating somebody, and that person, because of where they're at in life right now with their job, or we're like, she deserves somebody better than what I'm making right now. And he had said that before we went on our first hike and our first date, so I put a pin in it. And then on our first hike together, I brought it back up. I said, I want to touch back on something. And he said, what? And I said, when you said, a girl like me deserves better, deserves a guy with a better job. I said, honey, I'm a hustler. I can get money.
I don't need that.
Also, you only like hiking.
I don't need money.
Yeah,
I don't need money. But what I said to him was, we can get money together. We can grow financially together. That's not a problem. That's not an issue. It's not even, money isn't anywhere on my requirement list. We can get that together. What I need is to be loved correctly.
What does that
It's
mean?
just that simple.
Hold on a second.
Literally
It's
just that simple.
It's just that simple.
Hold on.
I need somebody to put in the time, effort, and patience to learn how I need to be loved and then do it.
Period. That's it.
to figure out how much water you need and how much sunlight you need.
That's it.
And if I need to be moved, and if I need the morning sunlight or if I need
You
the
need that
afternoon
sunlight.
sunlight.
Definitely when to feed her.
So quick
Garfield complex,
quick,
yes.
quick question. So sometimes people, and I'm a victim of this as well, where I want something from somebody, but I'm also not verbalizing what I want
Correct.
from that person.
Yes.
So when you say you want someone to love you correctly, are you giving them a guidepost, something, a North Star to look for?
Yes.
Because this is one of the things, Stephanie and I have this discussion a lot. This is where sometimes, because we're such good friends, I can anticipate certain things. But if we weren't good friends, she doesn't verbalize what she wants sometimes.
Right.
And she expects me to know.
Right.
So can I ask you a question off of that?
Mm-hmm.
So
You can pull it down a little bit.
oh, sorry. So let's say it's not somebody that you know, new person, random person, whoever, right? As a man, you just met this person 3 weeks ago. What are you gonna do as a man to try to get that information? Because they don't know how you operate and you don't know how they operate.
I love this
And there
question.
might be some things that are not verbally said. Either they don't know how to say it, maybe they don't know how to express themselves. You have to be able to extract that information from them. As a man, what are you going to do?
So one of the things, and Keith is going to jump in on this, but I'm almost positive we're going to say the
I think so,
the
too.
exact same damn thing. Men are going to ask you, and we're going to ask you. So listen, understand, and Stephanie and I have this conversation. Men are direct communicators.
Are they?
Yes.
Very
Yes.
direct.
Not all of
Yes.
Very direct.
And I will guarantee
Simple.
you,
Men are very direct communicators. Women are circles, right?
I circled
So-
this building 5 times.
So
you heard that too.
so that's why I said, if a man truly wants to be with you and truly wants to get to know you, we ain't talking about somebody who's just here for a good time, but they want to build something with you. If you are not verbalizing what you want, that man is going to ask you. That man's going to ask you. And the caveat that I say to you is that if that man truly wants to get to know you, if he just wants to get a
He'll
piece of
keep
ass,
going.
if he just wants to get a piece of ass, he ain't going to even
Right, doesn't
waste
even
his
matter.
time. He ain't
Once
going to
that
waste his
ass
time.
is given, he is not going to ask the pertinent questions. I was going to say this a few shows ago when we were talking about that the golden period. That first 6 weeks, 6 months, everybody's in the golden period. Everyone's on the best behavior, right?
The representative.
I will guarantee
The
you within that.
representative.
I will guarantee you in that time, though. All right, I've said it before. Y'all are the strongest part of our species. We're not exactly playing. Y'all are playing chess. We're playing checkers. Within that time, I guarantee you, when the man's starting to get to know you, he's going to ask you those very pertinent questions. But you're not gonna listen to
I
him.
love that you're going here. Yes.
You're not gonna listen to him. You're not gonna ask because you're still, like I said, like Pat said, you're doing this and we're doing this, and it just happens that we're now we're in that. Now we've reached the end of that golden period. Now we're at that stage where now we're kind of know each other a little bit. Now we got to figure each other out. Damn, was this broad playing games with me this whole time? I did ask her what she really. What did she really? What? Damn! What? Now we're questioning each other. Now we're in the game period. And now we don't know where we're going, and that's when relationships either sink or swim.
I don't have time for none of that.
But that's what happens.
But that's what you need, though.
That's what
Well,
happens.
and like,
But,
what you
but
need.
again, you haven't listened. Like if you were talking to this dude, if you really were listening to, or really wanted to find out, he will. I almost guarantee you, in the first month, a dude will ask you the very pertinent questions. What he wants to know if both of you want to continue that relationship.
So
We're
you-
not smart.
This takes me back to the reading behavior. People say a lot when
Without
they
saying
don't
it.
say anything at all.
True.
That you've
With
got to
Absolutely.
you've got to read in between people's lines. You've got to read that body language. You got to say, okay, well, these were the words. This was the tone, and this was the body language that followed. 1 + 1 = 2, or 2
Not
+ 2 = 4. But so does 3 + 1. So what are we doing?
Right.
It's not,
I think that like with the relationship that I've just entered into after spending 5 years as an emotionally unavailable person, and now I'm in this relationship which has been superseded by 2 slip ups, but they were lessons and I'll take them as they were.
That's great when we learn lessons.
This man spent the last year by my side, working in that pub with me, and he
As a friend.
as a friend, and he has seen, and this is vice versa.
Yeah.
He has seen who I am behind the pine, who I am off the pine, who I am on a good day behind the pine, who I am on a bad day behind the pine, and vice versa. I've seen him have good days. I've seen him have bad days. I've seen him make silly mistakes. I've seen him make serious mistakes. All the things.
Right.
And then a year later is when the crush finally starts to come out, and the circumstances are right, and then and the environment is right, and everything came together. This one kicked it off and planted a seed that started to grow very fast. But
She watered your
the
plants.
questions, yes, the questions that came after that. He had gone through we didn't start dating last year when we first met and developed a crush on each other, because we weren't done learning what we were in the middle of learning. The universe absolutely took him over to Texas for 6 months. It left me here to go through what I've gone through for the last in 2022, which I'm thoroughly grateful for, but also kind of like, you can fuck off now. Fuck right off.
Love it.
But all of those needed to finish playing out. He comes back from Texas. He comes back to work. He's a different person. But here's the thing: is I go through my bullshit. I go on my vacation. I come back. I'm a different person. And the intentional questions and the intentional conversations started happening so organically. It went from what's your favorite flower, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite candy bar, to just recently, what does the next 5 years look like for you? When you think of the next 5 years for you, what does it look like?